You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try. Try and try. Try and try. You'll succeed at last.
Hello and welcome to the maiden edition of Will and Zeal. I am Liman Usman. There are people that never give up in life in spite of whatever it is that they are going through. Some people are faced with different kinds of disabilities, but it doesn't stop them from aspiring to the highest height of trade, career, or profession that they have chosen for their lives. And that's the reason for this program. This program is mainly to showcase those category of people that refuse to let their disability let them down. And so they aspire to the very height of their chosen career or trade or profession. There is nothing that you can do in life without mathematics. You may either love it or hate it, but there is just nothing you can do without it. And it is a very difficult subject. Even some sane people are very, very much afraid of doing mathematics. How much more of somebody who is blind? Are there blind people that will dare do mathematics? Of course, yes. Just take a look at this.
Write the following equations. X plus 2 over x squared plus 3x plus 2. And next one, m squared minus 12m plus 36. Read the first equation, Angelica.
X plus 2 over x squared plus 3x plus 2.
Second equation, Edeline.
The square root of m squared minus 12m plus 36.
Okay, that clip you've just watched is not made in Nigeria. But here in Nigeria, do we have blind people that will dare go into the study of mathematics? Oh yes, of course. There are people that are doing, the blind people that are doing mathematics in Nigeria. I have the privilege of meeting one of those. And I will be introducing the fellow shortly after this break. You're welcome back. My dear viewer, it is with great pleasure that I introduce to you Emmanuel Karemi. Emmanuel Karemi, is a big pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you. It's also my pleasure.
Emmanuel Karemi is a blind person that has dared doing mathematics and has done it up to degree level. We will be getting to know how he has been able to get along in this field. But let's start first by knowing the history about how you became blind. When and how did you become blind?
Thank you very much. I became blind when I was still a small boy of about 9 years old. And it happened as a result of sickness, measles.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was that?
That was in the year 1978.
Were there any efforts made to remedy the situation?
Of course. But you know, they did it their own way. They took me to some traditionalists who tried to use their own herbs, but it did not help matters.
And right now you're totally blind?
Yes.
You can't see at all?
I had some residual sight before, but when I was in JS3 around 88, that was when I lost my sight completely.
Measles is one of the most contagious diseases caused by a virus. The measles virus is so infectious that in cities, children catch this disease before they reach the age of 5 years. Mothers generally pass their antibodies to their children, which immunize them passively. This protection, however, does not last beyond the 6 months. Measles is easily transmitted in the early stages through the invisible droplets of moisture which are discharged from a patient's nose or mouth when he coughs or sneezes. The real cause of this disease, like other diseases of childhood, is, however, wrong feed and unhygienic living conditions. Measles is thus a natural healing crisis aimed at cleansing the infant organism of the toxins and deleterious end products resulting from the assimilation of the vast excess of starchy and sugary foods consumed by young children today. The cure. In the beginning of the treatment, the patient should be given juices of fresh fruits like orange and lemon frequently. This is sufficient as the child suffers from lack of appetite during this period. He should be kept in a well-ventilated room. As light has a detrimental effect upon the eyes during measles, because of the weakened condition of the external eye tissues, the child should have his eyes shaded or the room should have subdued light. The treatment should aim at bringing down the temperature and eliminating the toxins from the system. This can be achieved by administration of warm water enema every morning, application of mud packs on the abdomen twice a day in the morning and evening, and repeated application of chest packs. Lukewarm water baths can be given every day to ease itching. Addition of extracts of neem leaves to this water will prove beneficial. As the condition improves, the child can be placed on an all-fruit diet for a further few days. Thereafter he may be allowed to gradually embark upon a well-balanced diet.
So, why did you choose to read mathematics?
Oh, my brother, thank you very much. That is quite an interesting question, because mathematics is an area that blind people don't dare go into it. So, many people will want to find out why and how. Initially, it wasn't my interest to read mathematics. I wanted to be a medical personnel. My ambition was to read medicine. But because of our Nigerian attitudes, and I found myself in this area. I was asked that because of the attitudes of Nigerians, they cannot allow me to read medicine. Every struggle was made. The University Senate had to sit on it, but eventually the conclusion was that I cannot continue. They cannot just allow me. So I was asked to go and read pharmacy. I felt it might be the same struggle. So I decided to go to an area that nobody would challenge me. So that was how I found myself in mathematics.
Well, are you saying that it was a smooth sail for you reading mathematics?
Not that it was a smooth sail per se. It was actually a challenge too. But you know, all along, the problem was that I cannot carry out practicals. And I know that in mathematics, I don't require any sight for any practicals. So I went into it. At first, my head of department, Professor Onumai.
Which school was that?
That was University of Jos.
Okay.
Professor Peter Onumai, he was my head of department. He asked me, will you cope with mathematics since you don't have sight and we always write on the board? I said, sir, I know, you will always write on the board. But so long as my lecturer, if he will be saying what he is writing on the board, there will be no much problem. I will have my machine with which I will be copying or writing out whatever he is saying. And that way I will cope. He said, okay, I should just try my luck. And that was how he just registered me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were the challenges you faced in your class, in the school premises, and other places you have to go to during your school?
Thank you, sir. I had a lot of challenges right from my secondary school. When I went into my JS1, during mathematics lesson, my classmate told me we were having a free lesson because they did not expect me to participate in mathematics. And so I left the class. I was going to my resource room where I would sit and be reading for myself, since it was a free class. On my way, I met a teacher, my maths teacher. who happened to be an European lady. She asked, where are you going? Why are you running away from my lesson? I told her, they said it's a free lesson. She said, no, who told you? I said, go back. So I went back. And that was how we started. That was my first challenge. At the end of that term, I happened to top the class in mathematics. So it became a challenge to everybody. So I had difficulty of getting textbooks, difficulty of getting notes. Just like I explained at the onset, the teachers always write on the board. And not all of them will be saying what they are writing. I will have to remind them, sir, remember one of your students cannot read your blackboard, so you need to be saying what you are writing. All the same, they will still try, but they will always forget. And I'll have to be reminding them always from time to time. Or they will say this and that, and they will be pointing at it.
Yeah,
you know
right.
That way a blind person cannot benefit. He does not know what you mean by this. He doesn't know what you mean by that. And so I will say what you mean by that, this and that, so that I can benefit. Gradually, they got used to it. But my white lady or European lady, after our first term, because of my performance, she quickly went and studied Braille so that she will be able to cope. And that way, she became my teacher from JS1 to my SS3. And before she comes to the class, she will prepare everything, including the diagrams that we may come across. And that way, I found it very easy, and it was quite interesting. But the issue of textbooks, I never had any textbook until I graduated.
In the course of your explanation, you mentioned Braille, you mentioned every other thing that helped you in school. So we will want to see you demonstrate how you do that, or how you were doing it in school. Just give us a little understanding of it, but after this short break. Okay, you're welcome back. Now, let's see how you were doing it in school. How were you able to, I mean, in what way were you doing your mathematics?
Okay, thank you. This is a Braille machine. With this one, you know, just like a sighted person will depend on what his teacher is writing on his board, and he will be seeing it as the teacher writes. Now, for me, who cannot see, I need a Braille machine, not a slate and stylus. I wish I had my slate and stylus here to show my viewer. I'm sorry I did not come with it. A slate and stylus, you write upside down, and that way you cannot read what you are writing until you finish what you are doing. But with a Braille machine, as I write 1, 2, 3, or if I said 4 times 5, I will be able to touch it immediately as I write it. And that way I can cope. But if you use slate and stylus, you will be punching using the slate, using the stylus, and the writing will be appearing under the paper, so you cannot read it. It means if you do that, you will find it difficult to cope. So I always go to the class carrying this Braille machine with me. And that way, that was how I cope. Okay,
just do another equation, then let's see.
I said 4 times 5 equal to 20. So,
okay, let me see, bring it out. Let's just see how it looks. Pushed out, okay. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Okay. So this is how the Braille machine looks like, right?
Yeah. This is how it is.
So this is Braille for you. Okay. Let's see how actually it is in some parts of the world where blind people are involved in mathematics class. Yes. We'll be back after this short break. Just take a look at how they study mathematics in other parts of the world.
Angle A, since the value of sine angle A is equivalent to the ratio of the opposite side over the hypotenuse.
Over the hypotenuse, that's right.
Yes, sir. And so its sine is 4/5.
Okay, this time you solve the sine of 49 degrees.
All clear. 4, 9. Sine 0.754709558.
Is a regular braille paper or any paper that can be folded to several folds, and this one I made a special triangle. This is very useful in trigonometry if you're introducing the trigonometric function sine, cosine, tangent with respect to
Summation of x now is equal to 75. Summation of x means the sum of all these forms. Get the mean, summation of x divided by n. Alright, you can give me the given box. So summation is 75 divided by how many n? 6. Alright, there are 7. Everybody give me
10.71.
10.71. Alright, the median is the score that divides the frequency distribution. So this is now a frequency distribution. Alright, about the median. What is the median now?
Okay. What about getting equipment for your learning? Did you get the needed things for to facilitate your learning?
Thank you, sir. It wouldn't have been easy for my parents. It was an assistance from some European ladies because of my performance during that first entry into the school. Because they discovered I was quite intelligent, they decided that they will assist my parents when they discovered my parents were finding it difficult to pay my fees. So they took over right from then. So I was sponsored by some European people. I don't even know them because they will write them letters.
Okay.
And they will send money.
That is to say, government was not involved in funding your school?
No. Yes, the Braille machine was bought for me by the European people. That is the white lady, Miss Catherine Hill. That was my sponsor, specifically, because she was a teacher in the school where I did my secondary school.
Okay.
So she took over everything about my studies.
Okay, so you got all you needed for your studies. You didn't find it difficult.
Even that medicine that I wanted to study, she was to be my sponsor, and she was willing to buy everything. All the facilities they will ask I should produce, she will make sure she supplied them. That was why she said she did not want me to go outside, because if I go outside and enjoy the facilities there, when I come back, I will not be able to cope. But if she is able to afford any facility for me here, it becomes my own. And after my graduation, I can use them to do my work.
All right.
So that was her reasoning.
All right. When we come back on the final segment of the program, we want to know how Emmanuel, what are his ambitions in life, and then how he relaxes. But let's go on this short break. We'll be back.
These students are learning some really important tools to help them gain independence.
It's a life or death situation if they make a mistake.
Crossing a busy intersection during morning rush hour can be intimidating for anyone. Now imagine trying to do it with your eyes shut.
I have a cone dystrophy. I cannot see a thing out here.
That's how more than 6.6 million Americans diagnosed as blind or visually impaired cross every time, according to the National Federation of the Blind. High school students in the Summer Academy, a program for children who are partially to fully blind, hit the streets in State College Wednesday morning to put their skills to the test, an important life skill for all of them.
My dream is to live in a big city, either New York or Washington, D.C., so it is very important for me.
Crosswalks and signals aren't helpful for these kids. Armed with canes, they stop and listen.
I can hear the
the push of the traffic, which is like this, which is what we call the traffic surge, and I'm able to cross the street that way.
It may take a little while, going through several light cycles before many feel secure enough to go.
For me, I was a little intimidated because I couldn't tell who was turning, who was going.
But instructors from the Pennsylvania Bureau of Blind and Visual Services guide them along the way.
Let's listen. What do you think? What kind of intersection?
We noticed several times drivers pause, waiting for the children to cross, but they say the act of kindness is actually more confusing than helpful, putting them in a dangerous situation.
Just keep going, don't stop, don't gawk.
This camp is continuing throughout the week. These students are also learning stovetop cooking skills and how to get around in the wilderness with a trip out to Shavers Creek. In State College, Erin Calandra, 6 News.
You're welcome back. Now, Emmanuel, what are your ambitions?
Just like I said, I want to see to it that the learning of mathematics is encouraged in the country. If other countries, on hearing that there's somebody who read mathematics from secondary to tertiary levels, arranged and invited me to come and help them on how they can assist their blind, I think I should do something for my country. So that is my ambition, to ensure that the teaching and learning of mathematics for the blind in Nigeria is encouraged. Okay. And so I want to see how I can go further in trying to see that this dream of mine is achieved. Okay, your challenges at the moment? My challenges is the attitudes of government, or do I say the bottlenecks, difficulty of getting funds, and how they can accept this and bring it into the curriculum. What I'm saying. That is my challenge that I'm facing, because they are always saying, I want everybody to become a Braille learner, or what? Okay. So, you know, it becomes a serious bottleneck, but I know it can be surmounted. Okay. It can be surmounted. Okay, now let's talk about homework. Are you married? Thank you. Yes, I'm married with 4 children. Okay. Is your wife a blind person? No, sir. My wife is a sighted person. I married her as a secondarian, but God helping us, she is now an NCE holder. We are hoping that very soon she will go for her degree program, since there is no work for her for now. She read PHE, that is Physical and Health Education. Okay. What are your advice to government and the general public? My advice to government is that nobody is not useful at all. With a little support and encouragement, everybody will be able to contribute his little quota to the development of our country. So, I will wish to call on government to do everything they can to support our persons living with disabilities in the country, particularly the visually impaired, by providing all the facilities they need, providing all the manpower they need, and the encouragement, the morale booster. That is, after your graduation, you should be engaged. That way, they will see how you can contribute, how you can help in developing our country, particularly now that technology has made it a lot easier for people with disability to contribute. Okay. So, if they can allow us be trained in some of this technological knowledge, like ICT. Okay. And to the general public? The same thing, because government alone cannot do everything. I just mentioned here that I was sponsored by some European people. So if some Nigerians can help in sponsoring somebody, they can be helping government in that way. And that way we will achieve a lot. Okay. So I'm calling on the general public to do the same. Parents and stakeholders alike. Okay, finally, Emmanuel, how do you relax? Of course, you know, I would like to listen to music. And I myself would like to be singing because I'm a chorister. That's quite interesting. I always want to listen to Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder? Yes. Okay. Because he's also blind, or why? Yes, of course.
Okay.
So that I can encourage him, and he's like a model unto a lot of us.
Oh, great. Which of his songs are you really interested in listening to?
I want to listen to Superstition, if you have it here now.
Oh, great. Okay, I'll surely play you Superstition by Stevie Wonder.
Thank you very much.
Writings on the wall. Baby, superstition. Let us start to fall. Let me mark on baby. Rough colors and glass. 7 years of bed. You could hang in the back. Believe in things you don't understand, and you're suffering. Supposed to start anyway. Yeah. There is superstition. Wash your face and hands. Rid me of the that you can. Keep me a daydream. Keep it going strong. You don't wanna shake me. Sad in the song. You believe in things you don't understand, then you're done. Brothers away.
Oh, thank you very much, Emmanuel, for coming to the studio.
Thank you,
It's been a very wonderful time with
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure, sir.
Oh, great. And my dear viewer, this is how it has been on Will and Zeal, the maiden edition of it. It will always come your way at the same time. Thank you so much for the time taken. And if you have any observations or questions to ask, you can always reach me on the phone number being displayed. If you know of any person with disability that needs to be on this program, please do not hesitate to get in touch with me, and let's get to know what the person is into. Thank you once again, and continue to enjoy.
You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want, but you must try. Try and try. Try and try. You'll succeed at last.